Hello everybody, and welcome back to Mistborne, the Pirates of Ravenloft. And if this is your first time here, welcome. If you're coming back for another go at this, well, welcome again, as you know you're in for a ride. So we're going to go around, have everybody introduce themselves, and as soon as we've done that, I'll give you a recap and we'll jump right on in. So, let's go around. We'll start with brilliant Farah. FrostFrmFire, welcome.
Aye, 'tis me, Farah, back again on a Monday. Happy Bank Holiday Monday to those of you in the UK.
Brilliant. And right below, Rahimi.
Oh, and I'm the captain. That's the important thing you should know about me. And I have a sidekick called Pete, who is a fine bird.
He is. He's a very fine bird. The finest of birds, as we know seagulls are. And Rahimi, Banjalerp, welcome.
There we go. I just remuted myself. Hi, I'm Banjalerp. I am playing Rahimi, the half-orc witch, of which I am using the Magehand Press homebrew for this class. It's super dope. If you guys haven't checked it out, you should go check it out.
Definitely, definitely. And Talgrath, welcome back.
Hey, I'm Dan. I'm playing Talgrath, our lovely half-orc punching man with a fetish for barrels.
Fair. That's a good way of introducing him. And Prosper, welcome.
Hello, I'm Shaksqueer. I'm playing Prosper, who is a tiefling bard and is scared of everything, including their own shadow, especially their own shadow.
Especially the shadow.
Their shadow's weird.
Oh yeah. And finally, last but not least, Nala, welcome.
Hey, I'm Humbledore. I'm playing Nala, the barbarian human who is the terrified and enamoured first mate of the lovely Farah.
Indeed, and speaking of the lovely Farah and all the rest of you, so, last session, you all arrived in Saltmarsh and began to have a look around the strange fishing village, and you discovered that mostly things were positive here. They just had a good catch, and it seemed a little less piratey than you're used to. People were smiling and happy, but they weren't all drunk, which was a strange sight to see, perhaps somewhat disconcerting. But you did hear some rumours about a house on a hill, and a bit distant from where you were, and at the top of this hill it lays an abandoned old and supposedly haunted house. And they said that everybody has been hearing screams coming from it. They've been seeing strange lights in the night appearing in the windows. But there may be treasure there, you were told, and so you've decided to go and check it out. Upon arriving, you've discovered a few things that were strange, such as some bones that were outside the edge of a well that was in the garden that was very overgrown and dilapidated. And as you walked up to it, it seemed rather unremarkable. But there was some gold at the bottom of it that you started to pull up slowly. And as you did, you had a bit of an accident. And unfortunately, Farah is currently looking down towards it as some snakes have crawled up. These giant snakes have kind of writhing out from the darkness as they both entwine and look towards you, Farah, as you're suddenly met with these beady eyes. And that's where we'll pick right on up. So, if you could all click on your token and roll initiative for me, please, and we'll get straight into fighting these giant snakes.
I says, get thee back to the bottom of the barrel.
Where you need to be.
No business of yours.
Exactly. Okay, cool. So that's looking good so far.
The lovers are too busy at the end of the initiative. It's fine.
Yeah, they're too busy
I'm
being
just
almost
admiring what's
forlorn
in
at their
front
loss,
of me, you know?
That's how it works. Alright, no problem. Cool. So those snakes are pretty much going dead last as they've rolled a solid 5. And we'll get on with this. So Prosper, you can see these snakes that come out from inside of the well. They rise up suddenly and go ready to attack Farah or possibly Nala. One of them for sure. They're looking at them with hungry eyes. Seems they're quite starved. You're nearby, only around 10 foot away. What do you do?
First instinct, I would run forward and just pull Farah back. Just nope. Yoink!
Okay, no problem. So you're going to try and pull Farah out of the way?
Yeah, basically just pull back from the well, like, nope, no snake bites in faces today.
Okay, no problem. So, Farah, you're suddenly hoisted, if you allow it, and you're pulled back around 5 foot from where you were, and the snakes are still ahead of you, but they're just out of reach of you. Nala, on the other hand, as you're stood there, you're still in contact with them, and you stop the snakes from biting Farah as she's pulled back, so they don't get an opportunity attack, luckily. And at which point, we will go around, if there's nothing else for you to do, to the next in the initiative, which, damn my many handouts, is Talgrath. Talgrath, you're still a little bit away, around 10-15 foot. You're in this garden still. There's sort of all these weeds and bushes that are kind of scratching at you. But ahead of you, you do see clearly 2 snakes that have come out the well. And it seems, you see Prosper has ran over, grabbed them, and pulled them out of the way so that they're not getting hit by them.
Okay. Are they out of the well or like just climbing out? Or...
They're out of the well, like half of them is kind of protruding out of it. So they're like, it's like you've got this well and then you've got, you know, I'll put it in a way that you'd understand Talgrath. So it's almost like there's a broom that is sticking out of a barrel with an open top. And sort of the half of the broom that's out is wriggling around and going to attack them, but the brooms are snakes.
Okay. Thinking like a barrel then. Is there a lid to this... Well.
A lid to the well. Well, certainly. Give me a investigation check then, please. That will be an action, however, to do this. If you wanted to look around, try and find it. It's very, very bushy around here.
No, I got a 1.
Where's the cover? Wait, I'm the barrel.
Oh.
It's what occurs to you. You may have gone too deep into the barrelverse. Too much of a method actor, it seems.
Yeah, obviously.
Anything else?
Full barrel.
Never go
I'm
full
just
barrel.
seeing that, like, you know, Michael came from Miscongeniality. Where the barrel? You are the barrel.
Exactly. So, Talgrath, the barrel of the hour. Anything else you do? You've got a bonus, you've got a move.
Thinking like a barrel then, and indeed if he is the barrel, he must become the lid to this barrel.
Alright, no problem. So, how are you going about this?
He's going to go over and I guess try and jump, like, kind of like frog splash the top of the opening to grab onto the sides of the well and hopefully fill out all the holes so the snakes are getting pushed back in.
Okay, that's fine. So you're trying to... Are you leapfrogging in to kind of stuff it? Like you're in the barrel or the cannon? Or are you like laying over the top like a plank?
Laying over the top like a...
Alright, these are important things to know. Okay, no problem. Yeah. So you run up and you jump. And, you know, it doesn't really cost you any movement to do this. You've got enough as you manage to cover the top of the barrel. And you feel strange wriggling things underneath your stomach as you're laying there. But the rest of you, seemingly as safe from the snakes temporarily, is Nala, as you're stood there and you're sort of protecting Farah as she's pulled away by Prosper. You suddenly see a slightly light green and red-haired figure run by you, jump and cover it with his own stomach. The snakes disappear into the well as the great barrel Talgrath has blocked it. And then we'll move down an initiative to Rahimi. Brilliant. Thank you very much. Thanks for the follow, Fraxinator.
I think Rahimi is just gonna hold an action.
And a host, thank you.
She's probably just gonna whip something if it comes out of that well.
Okay. So you get your whip ready, you hold it, and you're holding your action, so if it comes out, you're gonna whip it.
Yeah, cool. I'm gonna whip it good.
You're gonna whip it real good. Good. So you get the whip ready, you get ready to crack it over any snake's heads that comes out of those. The Talgrath or the well, yeah, possibly, like, whichever one gives out first.
Because I don't want to whip Talgrath, but also... this is a weird situation.
It certainly is, and as you're prepared, just in case, we'll continue on. So next in line would be Nala. Anything you're doing? You're stood next to the well. Talgrath is planking over it. He's blocking the snakes within.
He's blocking all of it, or like is there still like a space to like shove a sword through and just do some stabs?
You could shove a sword through Talgrath. I'm sure he won't mind. I mean, so no, you have. Luckily, he's kind of covered it, so you could stab between his armpit and try and hit them, but you can't see them, and it's a risky move. But you could possibly do that.
I'll kind of just roll my eyes, like put my fist at the end of the well and go, "Move your tubes! They're gonna attack your belly!" And then like get prepared for when they inevitably bite him to hit one.
Yeah, of course, that makes sense. So, as you sort of get ready to deal with the inevitable bites, then, is there anything else you're wanting to do with that turn, or is that everything?
I'll try and carefully like attack one and see what happens. I just
Okay.
don't want to hit. I don't want to hit Talgrath.
So the mighty Talgrath is face down, arms clenched, looking down over the edge of the well, covering it completely. And Talgrath, it feels like you've done a good thing. You've stopped them. You've capped it. You've been the barrel you know you're meant to be. At which point you feel cold steel pass just next to your armpit, probably shaving some of your armpit hair as Nala stubs a sword straight down. Could you give me an attack check, please? It will be at disadvantage, however. As
That's
we're
an
attacking
18.
Sort of blind. That's still a very good hit. So you stab it through. Could you give me the damage?
Well, 6 piercing.
6. Nice. So, Talgrath, you're splattered by something wet and warm from underneath. But you don't know what it is, but it feels gross. And at which point it will be the snake. So, the other snake that still remains underneath there is going to go and try and bite on Talgrath without any of you seeing, and it seems to have advantage given that it's in and literally just has to reach its head up. And unfortunately, Talgrath, it does bite you for a mighty...
I will
2
use Sentinel,
damage.
please, as it is attacking Talgrath to make another swing.
Okay, no problem. I'll give you it.
Thank you.
How much damage?
2 damage. It nibbles at your belly. Yeah, okay, no problem. So you go for a strike, and unfortunately on a 13 that won't hit as you go for the stab, but you don't hear anything or feel anything. But Talgrath, you are bitten in the chest as the snake seems to be merely nibbling your chest right now. It feels weird,
tickles.
and it tickles a bit. At which point, we go back around to Prosper. It's a weird situation you're in right now.
What happened to my goal?
Oh, yeah. Has Farah not had a go?
Oh, Farah, you're not in the initiative. Oh, did you not press your... I'll add you to it. I'll tell you what, you can go right... You can go right now, Farah, so...
I rolled a 5 if that helps.
That helps amazingly. Thank you very much. My bad. And could you... Yeah, what do you want to do, Farah?
I turn to Nala and I say, "There's good eating on them. Sea snake sashimi could sell, and I'm hungry. Talgrath, get out the way, you lump!" And she's gonna heft against Talgrath's bum to push him out the way.
Okay,
Plus,
cool.
they're guarding me gold.
Alright, so you go and you shove Talgrath. And can you give me an athletics check, please, just to see how well you push Talgrath?
If she moves him off, do I get my attack?
You would.
That I had. Fuck yeah.
You would trigger your attack, because technically Farah's revealing them, so they're out.
Athletics plus 4.
Yar.
Yar. Wait. Nar.
Nar. I'll give you advantage for this, given that he's perpendicular, so he's quite easy to push off.
Kind of prone.
He's kind of prone, but on a 10. So
Just roll him off like a barrel over a deck.
So you walk over and try and move him, and you're pushing his sort of meaty sides and back and trying to push him off. And Talgrath, you're kind of capped. Do you let yourself move, or are you truly being the barrel you were meant to be?
He will roll over. He's ticklish on his side, so
okay.
he can't hold it, and he has to turn over to roll away.
So you begin to push, and you hear him sort of giggle a little as he's pushed off and rolls over into the weeds, and suddenly a snake rears its head. And Rahimi, you've prepared an action to attack.
Yes, thank you for that, Farah.
Oof, nice. Okay, so you whoosh, whip it out, and it seems to hit solidly as the thing seems to whip into the side, and you see its head split as it just lolls over the side and wriggles slightly before stopping. And it seems you're safe for now. Good job.
I draw me dagger and begin slicing at chunks of snakes.
Okay. I'll tell you what, if you're preparing that then, could you give me just a quick survival check, please?
I'll be looking down the well to see if there's any more of them.
Alright, give me a perception check, please.
Sure.
Alright. So it's not hard, but you do have a bit of difficulty butchering one of them. but you get about a ration's worth of snake. So you've got a good full chunk of snake that you've got prepared and filleted.
I'll wrap it in a portion of like oilcloth that she has
Yeah.
like in one of her pockets. Just wraps it up, tucks it away, and then her head goes straight down that well, looking down at the gourd next to Nala.
All right, cool. So as you look down as well, could you give me a perception check as well?
Bring
But
it up to hand if you want.
Nala, you do see there's some left at the bottom. There's some more coins there, but what you do also see with your roll, given you got so high, you notice there are no other snakes in there. There's no other signs of life. It seems these snakes may have made their home here and been eating critters that came by.
Okay. I'll sort of turn to Rahimi. You said you had your mage hand. There's some extra coin down there and it looks safe, so...
I mean, it didn't hurt me to pull them up before. Okay, and just... Astral hand.
Ghost
just goes-
hands.
So you push it down, and as you do pull out the rest from below, and you bring it up slowly, you get about 10 gold out of there. It's pretty good.
Do I get the collector's fee? I'm kidding.
Farah's hand goes out towards the spectral arcane hand.
2 gold shakeout.
Has anyone got any change?
I have one silver on me and that's it, so no.
Alright, that's right, you. 1 gold for 1 silver.
Are you alright there, fella?
I've got
very
11 silver.
Alright. She just tosses over a silver.
Okay.
And Farah turns with her back to the well and closes her eyes and squints really hard and then flicks the coin over her shoulder. Well, I'm not going to put another gold in.
Got a point.
What?
Nice.
Did you just make a wish?
It's
The
bad
hole in
luck
the
for me to
ground is
answer
bad,
that
is it?
question.
That's fair.
Adorable. And she takes a 2 gold.
Okay.
Prosper is just gonna like sidle up to Farah and be like, "Do holes in the ground grant wishes?"
Some of them.
Is this a wishing hole?
We call it well.
Okay, well,
You went well when you put money in the water.
but if you like drop money off the side of a boat, does that make the sea a well?
No,
I
a well it's like a circular hole in the ground. That's,
You know, though, there is no more magical body of water than the sea. You have something there, Prosper.
I think you're going to need a much bigger coin to make a wish in the sea.
I know a
Can you
man.
move on to the house and not stand here?
We should take care of it.
Mermaids! I got lunch for when we get hungry. Mermaid!
You probably shouldn't eat snake. Poison
cook it
venom?
at least.
No. Okay.
Speaking of, does anyone know if it's poisonous?
Sorry.
I don't know. How does your
There's-
tummy feel?
I get out a piece of cloth,
Okay.
and sort of wrap it. I don't know, tight. I try to make it like. I actually get Talgrath. I hold this taut for a sec, and I get the snake's head and just put it into the thing and see if it drips any liquid.
It does. A little bit comes out, but not much.
That's
so
probably a
gross.
yes.
Do you feel sick, Talgrath? Because it looks like you got a little something here.
Talgrath will expose his wound. Anybody
Talgrath.
wish to do the pleasure?
Talgrath exposes his wound. It's too little
Prosper
pinpricks.
is literally gonna like
Little
walk
teeth.
over and like bend down so their nose is like right next to him and be like, "That's tiny."
I get that. And thanks for the host, little cup of Joe.
Oh, thank you for the host, Jess!
You.
Cool. But yes,
Can I examine his wound to see if
you
he's
can-
been poisoned?
you certainly can. Could you give me a very quick medicine check, please?
Why not?
Do-do-do-do.
Oh, if it's poison, maybe we
Yep,
could
that's
use it.
about right. Yep.
Nah, he's fine.
That's-
It just
that's
looks like
about
he's
right.
got like the equivalent of 2 splinters that have poked him. They were quite young snakes, it seems, and yeah, he seems fine.
Are you sure you got this now and you didn't like get it off the inside of a barrel? Because it just
He wasn't
Yeah.
bleeding when we came to the house.
No, I
True.
definitely got it now.
Oh, okay. No, I think it's fine.
All right, fair
Your
enough.
insides are still on the inside, so I think you're okay.
It's the best place for them to be, as you know.
Aye.
If you want me to do something with the poison from the snakes as we're going into the house, I could probably do something.
I was going to say, it seems like the sort of thing you'd pickle and put in a jar, Rahimi.
Okay, maybe.
Poison? I mean, does that make it taste better?
It preserves it? Kind of?
Anyway, can you do something magical with it?
I don't know if I can do something magical with it, but I might be able to make it so you can apply it to your weapons.
I like this.
If I wanted to do something with it, if I'm going to do something with it, I will do it later because it's going to take some time to distill it.
Maybe if I just chop off the head and we can just take that with us.
Yeah, that works.
All right.
You could certainly farm the sort of reagents from it later, so to speak, so you can kind of wrap it up and keep it safe. So you do that, you wrap it up, you keep it safe, you plop it in your bags, and you're left still standing in this overgrown garden. There's sort of like rose bushes on the outsides, and there's a path that vaguely leads towards the house, but it's that overgrown by this point that you can only see dots of it in the distance as the house still looms overhead.
Do you think there's anything else lurking in this garden?
Probably. Lots of things waiting to kill us, usually.
We chat.
Fantastic. Probably should check it out.
How dark
yeah,
does
that's a
mermaids in here,
reasonable
though?
response.
So those of you looking around, could you give me a quick perception check then, please?
Sure.
Alright. Alright.
Yo,
okay.
Nala.
Wow, Nala, okay. Talgrath, you're busy. You're still sort of... You're considering what went wrong there. You were the barrel and yet you were bitten, and barrels don't get bitten. Also, thank you for following, driver. Aside from that, you all look around, and the rest of you don't seem to spot much, but Nala, you do. You hear a distant noise, a squeak almost, and your eyes whip immediately over to the corner of the garden where you can see there seems to have been things that were growing there that look to be many different types of plants that are now slightly rotten. But what you do see is there are some holes, and it seems some creatures have made a burrow on the outside edge of the garden. And with your crit 20, you've seen those kind of burrows before. Those burrows are something that you have seen multiple times, in fact, and they belong to giant weasels. They're very aggressive creatures.
So, Prosper. There may be food over there, but it's very aggressive and looks like a big furry tube like this, with like a mouth and then little feet.
If it's aggressive, it's not food. Food is dead, usually.
I mean, if you're hungry, we can go and... How do you like the sound of the word weasel?
Fine, when it's not attached to the word aggressive. I don't like anything aggressive.
I mean, anything that's aggressive if you want to take its life.
Oh, no. You breathe near
Bugs
them
are
and they
usually
will kill
okay.
you. So it's not a... You know, they're just dicks.
I mean, I'm not very hungry and not... I mean, no, I'm good. I'm fine. And just moving backwards, just like, no.
I look to Farah. House then?
You know, they are good for eating rats on ships.
So's a cat. We've got one of those. We don't need to train a
What's
giant
that?
weasel.
I don't know if I've ever seen hard to eat anything.
How
That
do you
wasn't
defend that?
hard coming in front of it.
He just sits there and they just run past him and he just lazily swipes and then it's
I
gone.
feed him rats. He eats things.
While we're debating the usefulness of a weasel, can I take a look at the house and see if anything's going on?
You can, as you can kind of take a look over, and you can give me a quick investigation check, please, see if you can notice
Okay.
anything that's sort of going on within the house, or, well, you know, from where you are at the very least. Okay, so as you look around, you don't see much, but then you do see what looks to be, for a moment, there's a flash of colourful lights, almost like little orbs that float by one of the upper windows before they vanish again. They're there only for an instant before they disappear. But aside from that, it seems very still right now, very calm almost, and the place does look very old and disused. You know, the
As
plastering
long as nothing's
looks
watching
bad.
us or anything like
Nothing
that.
seems to be watching you.
Something's always watching us.
And just imagine what we could sell a pair of trained weasels for.
Or just their pelts.
Or whatever trophy.
Or that if they give us too much trouble.
I'm gonna walk towards the house a little bit
Okay.
and just see if anybody notices me going towards the house.
So you
I
begin
think
to walk.
with the eagle eye that I have right now, I'm like, Rahimi, you're not part of this discussion anymore.
Weasels aren't really my purview.
All right, we'll leave the weasels then. Come on.
Wait, is it weasel? Is it weasels or death house? Because I'd like to rethink my answer.
It'll be weasels then death house.
Right now,
The
just
death
looks like
house
we
is
have a
inevitable, right?
Yes.
Okay, then let's just go for
Like
death house.
taxes and Mr. Robinson, inevitable.
Somewhere in the
We
world,
can,
you're
we can
You
deal
won't
with the
follow
weasels
us.
after we die.
Yeah, somewhere back on your ship, as you mentioned, Mr. Robinson, your dread accountant, the ghost that haunts your ship, if it even is a ghost, sort of, for a moment, scratches off some notes and then looks up. And then looks around to see if he can notice who said his name before squinting and returning to writing.
Oh my
Never
goodness.
invoke his name, he will follow us.
Did you know he likes chocolate? He wants some chocolate. We got to find him some chocolate, you know.
Before he
Why
kills us
don't
all.
we feed him Leslie? He smells like salty caramel. That's
No,
nearly
he
No.
specifically requested chocolate, not salted caramel, so I gotta get him chocolate, I'm
They
afraid.
go well together, but it's not the same.
No. And we're not gonna serve him Leslie on a bed of chocolate either, so stop that right now.
If we run out of rats, I
Like
can always
that.
feed Leslie to hard to eat.
Prosper, I always knew you were my favorite. And she reaches out an arm to throw it around you, but it just hovers above your shoulders.
Like there's a brief shrink, and then it's like, oh, this is okay. This is fine.
This is the kind
It's
of
a nut
contact I'm
hug.
okay with, non-contact.
Right!
Like
To
the
the house!
proximity is fine.
So, and as you do that, and Rahimi, of course, you make it up towards the door, are any of you heading in, or are you heading towards the weasels?
I think we're heading in.
Now we're going to the house. Yeah.
Alright, okay.
We can get the weasels on the way out.
If the
It's
weasel,
like,
if
you
I
know,
can't tempt you with the weasels, we'll carry on.
souvenir store on the way
No,
out.
I'm kidding.
Reluctantly heading to the haunted house on the hill.
Okay, so you head up towards the haunted house on the hill as you, again, the only thing you can hear is the wind, the ocean nearby, the creaking of the house, and of course your own footsteps. And you make it to the front door of the house. And as you make it there, and you enter an entrance hall as the door opens. And the front door opens into a musty, dirty entrance hall. To your left is a corridor that leads into the west wing of the house. The walls are all bare, and bits of smashed furniture lay upon the floor, just strewn about the place. And ahead of you, another corridor leads towards the rear of the house. A staircase is on your eastern wall and climbs to the next story. And reaching at it is a balcony that overlooks the entrance hall along its north and west sides. The stairs appear safe to climb, though the balcony rail is broken in several places, and under the stairs at the north end of the hall, a third corridor leads east. So you have multiple directions you can go in.
Are there any indications that people have actually been through here before?
You can certainly give me an investigation check on that.
Are there any cracks in the floorboards?
There are little cracks, but nothing that seems to be too bad. It all seems pretty sound as well as the floor goes at the moment, but the sort of dust that lays upon it is quite thick. But Talgrath, you do see footprints, not only on the floor, as you see various ones, but you see some on the walls as well, that seem to cross over where the cracked plaster that falls off slightly every now and then is.
Can people normally walk on walls?
I
Normally,
don't know.
I think so.
No, but they can put their shoes on their hands and pretend to.
That's fair.
Mm.
Why would you do that though?
For shits and gigs.
It just seems dirty.
If shits are involved generally.
We're gonna start from the bottom up then.
Sure. Are we splitting up or are we staying
No.
together?
No,
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 no, no, no.
Don't.
You sure? I think we can cover more if we split up.
No, 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 no.
But really?
Like,
Well,
Prosper
Talgrath,
is
you want
walking,
to-
like, crouched behind Farah, just like, I don't want to be here.
Bless you.
Like, Shaggy walking behind, like, Fred, just like, no, no, no.
Talgrath, if you really want to split, I will go with you and let these three do their thing. I feel like Prosper would feel more comfortable with the two ferocious ladies.
I would feel more comfortable if we weren't in a scary haunted house. But while we're here,
Don't worry,
looking up
Frost.
doesn't seem like a good idea.
But while we're in this
It's
scary
not-
haunted house, you know.
It's not a
start
haunted
heading down
house
the
unless the
I-
door doesn't open when we're in.
I don't know how not to worry. Worry is my basic personality.
It is.
Why
It
don't
is.
you worry about the communal orange? We left that behind.
That's
Why
a
would
very
I
big worry, I
about
think,
that?
for
What could
everyone, really, when you think
possibly
about
happen
it.
to the communal orange?
That's what
I
you
left
should
it with
worry
Patsy.
about.
Is
What
there
might happen?
is there something that I can use to like block the door from closing behind
Yeah,
us?
so there's
just-
like bits of furniture. There's like table legs and things like that that are sort of all around the place. So you would be able to quickly use that. to
yeah,
sort of
I
jam.
will
I
100%
would be
like
happy
put
to
something.
donate a dagger to be a more solid door jam if you want. We can
Yeah.
just wedge it into like the wood of the frame, and then it's there, and it's
Sure.
On- certainly
Honestly,
do that.
looking at the walls, I could probably just run through them to create a door.
Considering they're structural, probably not a good idea.
If we needed to get out in a hurry.
Could we not just take the door off its hinges and like throw it into the well?
Can
Just
do.
to be on the
I'll
safe
try and
side.
rip the door if it hinges.
Okay, no
new
problem. Could you give me an
door for the
athletics
doors.
check for that then, please? As you kind of grab it at both ends and begin to lift. Could you give me that?
Yeah.
can I assist?
19.
You certainly can assist, yes.
I don't think she needs help.
Okay. What have we got here then? Alright, so on a 19, with Farah assisting you, the two of you begin to pull and you hear it creak and groan before you snap it off, and plaster comes away with it and you're kind of painted with dust, but you have ripped the door off its hinges.
Yeah, I'll just throw it out and then just. Alright. Let's go.
I feel much better about this, thank you.
Put the take the dagger out and hand it back to Farah.
No
Be good
problem.
firewood for later if we need it.
There's like a very kind of like, you know, like Prosper like reaches out and like just barely touches Nala's shoulders, like thank you.
She gives you a very bright smile, but doesn't reciprocate the touch.
Oh.
I was thinking we could install it for Rahimi, a proper door instead of that curtain flap she has.
Oh. With no
Well,
walls.
But sure.
So, why am I special?
Oh, we'll get doors for everyone. I'm sure there's lots of doors in this.
My box has a lid, I'm okay.
The box has a lid, I'm
Farah
okay.
has
That's
a
the
lid.
best way.
And I've got the first mate's cabin, so we can give Leslie a door if you like.
Certainly do.
No?
You could give Leslie a door.
Would I leave him in the middle of the ocean?
You could not.
Leave
I
him in
like
the middle of the
Leslie.
ocean. He's cat food.
You're right. He's cat food. We can't do that.
Certainly
Look at
is.
us, like,
Farah's gonna go for the stairs.
Okay,
gonna go-
to the east.
All right, you mermaids, assemble. This is your eviction notice.
So as you're beginning to shout that out, I will just leave you there for just a second. Unfortunately, the other map isn't ready yet, but I can show you the players it, but we'll reference the numbers just so you know at home, because the other one is incredible, the UI, so I need to figure that out. But as we're doing this, you can see the map now for at least the player's side, and you've entered this sort of wide open room, and this is the stairs to the east, the way you currently are. Farah, which is just off to the right of the door there, and you've got the stairs that kind of climb upwards.
Look at this
And
fancy
as you're-
dynamic lighting.
I was gonna say I got so excited. It's dynamic
I
lighting.
know, I'm
Matter.
sorry. It's
We
great
head
for the
upstairs.
audience. I will have the other UI sorted soon. I'm just currently adding cameras as we do this. So, but yes. So as you're going towards those stairs, however,
Don't worry, my love. I'm not going far. It's just for acoustics.
it's not that. We should probably do the bottom so nothing sneaks up behind us.
I thought mermaids were a sea thing. Why is she shouting about mermaids?
so you'll find yourself further up, Charlie, as you've sort of climbed to the top of the stairs, and below the balcony where you currently are, you can see the others still there, of course.
Where's Talgrath?
I
Oh,
don't
I
know.
thought
Mr.
that was a
GM,
meme.
sir, could I please be placed on the map?
No, Talgrath, this is a sad moment for us
Oh,
to mention
no.
this, but you've
It
been
was
cut.
Switched
Oh,
away
well
to another
camouflaged.
dimension.
Yeah, you've been cut. I'm sorry. No. You certainly can. Apologies, as you were there as well. So you make your way up these sort of creaking stairs, and they creak quite ominously as you tread upon them, but they do support you. And as you're walking up, could you please give me a very quick intelligence investigation check, please,
Yeah,
Farah?
sure, yeah. Let me have a look.
Investigation +1.
Investigation.
Investigation.
To investigate.
Aye.
Ooh.
19.
A 19, very nice. So you do actually see, as you're walking up, and you're sort of looking just below, you can see that there seems to be tracks that lead down the stairs and then around the corner and up towards the hallway to the north of the rest of the party.
There's tracks.
Says Farah from on the ledge above you all.
Great, where did they go?
Mermaid tracks?
No, these be landlubber tracks if ever I saw them. Wait, do they look like mermaid tracks, dear TM?
You can give me a very quick, just a nature check, please, with advantage for that.
Okay. 17.
Okay, on a 17. So, on a 17, they don't look like mermaid tracks because mermaids, you remember, they don't usually have feet. And these are wearing shoes. So unless the mermaid is being deceptive and they've turned their feet that would usually be a tail into feet.
Or handstanding.
Or handstanding with boots, as was mentioned previously, Farah. So this is very possible, actually. Because you remember them mentioning that maybe they wore them on their hands, and there are them on the walls. Maybe the mermaids, maybe they couldn't walk properly, so they started slithering whilst they used their hands for support that wore the boots. It's quite plausible.
I take back what I said about the landlubber thing. It could be mermaids.
Oh,
Mermaids
really?
are better than ghosts. I'll take it.
Exactly. They certainly are.
So, do we leave her upstairs to her own devices, or...?
Probably not.
Farah, where do the tracks go?
Farah will just jump over the banister and drop down to
Okay.
follow the tracks. She's on the hunt now. This could be mermaids.
This
I was
could
so
be
tempted to
mermaids.
catch her, like the princess catcher.
Prosper is going
You're
to
gonna let me
scream
fall.
and jump behind.
No, I'm not getting in the way while she's hunting.
That's
completely
Prosper is
understandable.
literally like going to scream and like jump behind Rahimi. It's like,
Would
Okay,
you like
so
an athletics? Like,
could you-
yeet myself over the banister.
please, could you give me a acrobatics as you yeet yourself off the banister?
no.
As this is going to be about how agilely you fall.
Oh,
20.
You yeet yourself good. And, maybe it's not the first time you've yeeted. Maybe it's another time. Maybe this is the 14th time you've yeeted yourself. But you know how to yeet yourself, Farah. It's a talent. It's a skill. Because, as you know, mermaids can't do that. And you can. And that's where your advantage lies. As you flip over the balcony and land on the floor
Does
below. How do you
Farah
land? Because that's quite an
actually-
impressive acrobatics check.
So Farah puts one hand, and it's kind of like doing a vault over a bench or a gate, and just the legs come over, and she lands solidly, both legs, slight bend in the knees.
superhero landing.
Dust comes up, and she just reaches for her sword and draws it and points in the northwards direction of the tracks.
Okay, no problem. So you do your acrobatic dive, superhero landing off, and land on the floor completely fine, not taking any fall damage as you land expertly. And you point your sword towards the northern hallway that you can see sort of extending just ahead of you.
See, I always roll well for really important things.
Yeah, such as landing in cool ways.
Lead on then, love. Come on.
She called you love.
It's, I flash a little, and I take this really seriously from now on, and I approach with my sword pointed out, and I'm checking the angles and the corners and looking along this corridor as we proceed, even paced on the balls of my feet.
Alright, and as you proceed down the hallway, and you begin to approach around the middle of where you can see two doors, one to your east and one to your west, that seem to lead into two different rooms. And the tracks, just so you know, would lead... They lead just past here and off towards the back end of this area here.
Also, DM, I'm keeping an eye out for books or journals or anything of that sort.
Oh no, that's a good thing to keep an eye out for. Unfortunately, as of yet, you haven't seen anything like that. But it seems at the moment that things are quite quiet.
Mm-hmm.
and there's no books that you can see. There's just chair legs and smashed tables and glass and just various bits of furniture, but nothing like books yet. But maybe this house, it is quite big, so it must have belonged to somebody important. And if you remember last session, I did mention that it was it was owned by an alchemist, they said. So perhaps they have a library here. That's not too far of a jump of logic for you to come to.
That's why she's looking out for books.
Yeah, so far, no books, but I'll let you know.
How
Rahimi,
nice.
what does the back of your jacket look like? Is it have one of those weird little belt things?
It might, but you probably won't see it behind her hair.
That's
Okay.
fair.
Yeah, because Prosper is cowering and just like with their fingertips like holding onto the back of your jacket.
She's like, the back is like, the bottom is tattered, so might just
Yeah,
be able
I'm
to, like...
holding on to a tatter like, oh god, oh god. Like
Fair.
small child following teacher, just like, oh no.
Oh no. So as you're
How
sort of following up.
Nice are the doors on either side of us, out of interest.
Not very nice. They're all very old. They all look to be equally as old as the rest of this place. Like, the entire thing looks like it's falling apart, like it's not been looked after in many years. There's sort of that pervading sort of feeling of age about the place.
Does it look like
So-
something a varnish job won't fix?
It looks like a varnish job would not fix this, no. It needs a lot of redecorating, you know.
So I would like to turn to my love, who is an actual goddess.
Yeah.
And I give her the look and a nod, and the plan is basically we take a door on either side and we both kick in simultaneously on our
On either
individual
side,
doors.
yeah.
We don't care about these doors, we don't want these. We've rejected these from the ship makeover plan.
Okay.
And we'll breach and clear.
Alright, cool. So, one of you takes left and one of you takes right. Who's lefty, who's righty?
I'll go for the right.
Yeah, I'll take left.
Okay, no problem. So, you get ready, and you kick the doors in. It doesn't take much as the doors fly open as you kick both of them open. And, either side, boop, and... But wait, you were right, weren't you, Farah? There we go. Now I'm confusing myself. Farah was left, you were
Okay,
right.
I'm
There
on
we
that
go.
one. Yeah, that's it.
Directions are difficult. Okay, so as you enter your room, as you kick the door in and the dust sort of billows out for a moment, you see what seems to be a dining room. And at one time, a long table seems to stood in the center of this room, and now it lies broken on the floor. And there's a broken chair that sits against the wall between the windows. And there's a heap of broken dishes in the northwest corner of this room, Farah. But as you look around, that seems to be all that's around here. On the other hand, as you kick in this door to your right-hand side, Nala, two stuffed armchairs stand near the fireplace of this room, and the covers of both have been torn, and the stuffing has been pulled out. But the wooden frames are intact, and a broken table lies on the floor near the northern wall.
Okay. Is there anything hidden inside, like the tatters of the stuffing of the chairs?
Give me a very quick, just a quick perception check, please, as you kind of look around to look for those sorts of things.
Only a 6, I'm afraid.
You don't notice anything. There's nothing in the stuffing. You kind of look through it, and there's nothing in there. And as you look around, there's nothing that you can see of note. Is anybody
All
else
clear
following
in
up
here?
on this?
Farah is gonna pick through those broken dishes, see if she can find one that's even close to whole.
Okay.
They seem nice.
You find a very
They were
small teacup. It's like a baby blue teacup.
It's perfect. And she'll tuck it into her jacket pocket and look around. Is there anything on the walls, like paintings? Or...
No, weirdly enough, not that you've seen yet. A lot of it just seems to be plain plaster that's peeling off. There seems to be nothing as valuable as paintings here, or perhaps somebody looted the place years ago of such things, but you can't even see sort of the telltale outline of where it would have been lighter.
Any like candlesticks or sconces, like anything that I could set fire to.
Okay, so there's a lot of wood.
Contextualize
You know, you could
both
set
sides.
fire to a lot of wood. You've got like chair legs and things like that around. So you could definitely set fire to some wood if you wanted to. But aside from that, there's not much else here, unfortunately, in that room at the very least. So just some smashed
I mean, the
pots.
paintings were for Nala, but
Yeah,
then
of course,
candles
of course.
came into my head, and I was like, yeah, I wasn't to myself.
No candles in this room. But maybe elsewhere.
Yeah, I'll poke my head out and sort of go to Rahimi. Well, those 2 chairs could probably do with an upholstery job, but besides that, I don't see anything in here.
Okay. Which direction should we go? Talgrath? Where are you going? Where?
Nowhere.
Uh-huh.
Well, we can always try that door right at the bottom of the... But it might lie... I can't speak today. It might go to the bottom of the garden. I don't know.
It's okay, I understand that you're tongue-tied.
Yeah.
It just kind of like looks in Farah's direction.
It's been a long day. And she just turns away like, no.
You go that way, but I thought we'd check these rooms first.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so should we move on then?
Yes,
Yes!
the faster we do this, the faster we leave here.
And we
So-
get our weasels on the way out.
And Farah will push forwards to
Okay.
check the next part of the corridor, I guess.
Alright, so as you go further down the corridor, you see when you get to the end, there's sort of an L shape as it turns to the right, but there's a door directly ahead of you. And the tracks that you've been sort of looking at, they lead into that door.
Into this one or
Into the one at the
this one?
north. So the
Okay.
far, far north one.
Boink.
Just in front of you.
And Farah will square up. How does this door look? Just
Same as
before
the
I
others,
break it.
bit old. It's sort of a little bit stuck, but you can give it a shove or a kick, and it'll very much open with ease.
I kick it in.
Okay, you kick in the door, and as you kick in the door, you see what looks to be a dirty kitchen with patches of grey mould and cobwebs on the floor, walls, and ceiling. In the southwest corner is some iron cooking equipment with a chimney above it, and next to it, under the window, is a cracked and discoloured stone sink. To the right of the sink, a small closed wooden cupboard is fixed to the wall, about 5 foot above floor level. Against the far wall, a flight of wooden stairs leads upwards from west to east, and the woodwork of the staircase is decayed, and a few of the treads are missing. The cupboard looks to be empty as it's pulled open. But the stairs lead upstairs, seemingly. They're in poor condition, however. Maybe usable, but risky.
Before I kick in every door in this place, who owns the deed?
I don't know if we got that information.
I don't believe
Because
it
I'm
did.
thinking it's kind of homey, really.
And she's like looking around the kitchen. She's looking at the iron cookware. She's picturing domestic bliss, like cleaning it all up.
Maybe the weasels or the snakes do.
I mean, if you really want to look into it, perhaps we can do that after we clear out the supposed infestation.
And we did ask the barman whether he knew the family before, and he said no. So I don't think... I mean, the property might be about, but I don't think anyone owns it, per se.
You think this comes under the maritime rules of finders keepers?
Probably.
I finds it, I keeps it!
She
I'm not
charges
just
into the room
stealing.
towards that
I mean,
iron
I'm not
cookware.
judging. But...
Okay, you charge towards the iron cookware, and as
But
you
are
do,
there any books I want to claim them first?
and as you get
Okay,
to that-
Rahimi! You have the books, they're no good to me.
So this is where the cookware is, as you've ran over, and as you do, you hear a slight rustle from your side and a slick noise for a moment, as you see 4 very strange-looking pale creatures, large and with many, many, many legs,
Sis.
as 4 even.
Oh,
Giant
no.
centipedes crawl their way out from underneath the sinkhole. And could you all roll me initiative, please?
More lunch! I'm so happy!
More lunch. Make sure you click your token before you
We're
roll
with the
initiative.
fleshy bit.
Oh.
Farah.
Christmas!
Farah Christmas. That's going to be the Christmas special.
Farah is now viewing this whole thing as impressing Nala, hunting mermaids, and shopping.
Yeah.
Only
it's
she
pretty
doesn't have to pay for anything. She's very happy. This is a
good.
good
Of course.
place.
Okay, so
It's all a
top,
win-win.
So top of the round, and the quickest ever apparently, is Prosper, followed by Rahimi, Talgrath, Farah, Centipedes, who will go after Nala because they crit failed. So first,
I think Rahimi goes first because she critted and I didn't.
oh, did she? Oh, awesome!
yeah.
In which case,
Next is
Rahimi, you were
fine.
going first by all means because you crit, so you override all that. So there you go.
All right. Well, I guess I don't know what's going on. So, did you find anything interesting in there, Farah?
Real big bugs for lunch.
Excuse me, Nana. Pardon me. Excuse me. Okay, all right. So we're just going to let me check the spell real quick. We're gonna read our spells first. Where?
I'm gonna say it's just like old D&D streams. It's fine. It's just like I'm gonna read my spells.
Ooh, okay. Yeah. No, we're going to cast Acid Splash at these bugaboos.
Ooh, brilliant.
Cast it at the front two right here.
Awesome stuff.
Do.
The two bugaboos. So you kind of run over towards the eastern
Oh,
side of the room. You
it didn't
look
actually-
over, see the four of them, and you see the centipedes here, and you go for your attack.
Yeah, give me a
so
second.
they'll
I'll get the
give.
description here.
Oh, it's all good. You're giving the splash, so I'll get them to take the. They're gonna try and make a dex save to get around that, and they've completely failed.
There we
The
go.
second one,
That's
however,
the-
did succeed. Oh, cool, brilliant. Thank you very much. So as you hurl it, the initial target is struck by it and takes the full damage as you see it begin to melt away, and it seems to be hanging on with only a bare shred of life to it. The top one over here, and the other one, on the other hand, seems to avoid most of the damage and seems to be completely fine. It seems to duck under it as the splash just goes over the head and hits the walls around it, only lightly singeing the walls. Anything else, Rahimi?
That is all for me.
Brilliant. Prosper, your turn. Down the
Okay.
hallway, you can see Nala stood there, of course. You can see Rahimi ahead, who seems to have cast some sort of spell. And you can hear the shouts of Farah about tasty bugs.
What kind of bugs? I'm just gonna move up, like, excuse me, pardon me, excuse me. And
Lots
just
of legs. Lots of legs.
and kind of like stop as soon as they've entered the room, like, big was the word you should have used. And it's gonna kind of like crunch up against the wall, look at Nala, and just start like quietly singing to themselves. And I will give Nala bardic inspiration down, and it's just going, make believe you're brave, and the trick will take you far.
As Nala, you're feeling inspired. And at that
It's like
point,
trying to melt into the wall. Sorry, Pete.
that's amazing. At which point, Talgrath, it is your turn.
I have a very quick question, GM.
Mm.
My bindings. Is it one person per thing?
It is one
I'm
person per
assuming?
thing that you can bind with
Okay.
your bindings, yes. Your cool bindings you got from the Eldritch God, yeah.
Mm.
The Drowned God.
That enchantment. Yeah.
Okay. Talgrath is going to go, what's all the commotion? See all the lovely dining delicacies in front of him. And he's not going to use his bindings, he's just going to do Old Faithful and give him good old punches.
Sure, of course. So as you sort of walk in, you go for a good old punch. The first one that's directly next to you there is one that is already mostly decaying and melting and looks to be in very bad state as this acid is still burning into it and burning holes through it as you go for a good old reliable punch. Do you want to give me that? That's a hit. So give me the damage, please.
That is a 4 on the first one.
So the first one, you punch into it and the acid seems to have already decayed a lot of it, and as you do, your fist just sinks right on through it and separates two parts of its body as it just flips and flops around the ground. And the second one, as you spin and go for another strike, how do you want to kill the second one? Actually, give me the damage first. That's a good point.
A 7.
Fair, okay. So, yeah, how are you killing the second one? Because you've killed the first one, that's completely gone, and the second one you've immediately taken out as well with that punch.
He'll go to punch, but grab and crush instead.
Oof, nice. Okay, so you grab it and crush it, and no noises come from it except for the crunching and cracking of the sort of the shell of the creature. It's a nasty sound for the rest of you that have stood around listening to it. And after that, it dies immediately.
Well, Farah, now you got some crunchy bits for your sushi.
Yeah, Farah, it probably smelt nice for you, I imagine.
What was that, Rahimi?
Nothing. I said nothing. Just, just making comment about the sushi comment thing. She said.
Centipedes don't taste bad, to be fair.
And speaking of that, we'll go on to Farah's turn. Farah, there's two of
I
them
got
still
a nice
remaining.
iron skillet to cook them in. And she will grab a piece of the cookware and hold it up. Needs a bit of work though. And she'll set it down. And she's gonna start cleaning the iron skillet. Her friends have control of the centipede.
I love this.
I'm not worried. She'll kind of sidestep and go to the sink where the centipedes came from. And look for something to scrub the skillet with. A little bit of oil, maybe.
Yeah, you find some oils and you find a couple of bits of cleaning. It's very, very old cleaning equipment.
Is it snake oil?
Basically, yeah, it's like snake oil. And you begin to sort of scrub at it. And it is starting to shine up a little bit. It'll take a bit more going, but you've got a good 6 seconds on this turn. It's fine.
Yeah, I got 6 seconds of scrubbing.
And
Fast and furious.
exactly.
For the rest of the work.
Exactly. And I'll tell you what, give me a survival check on it.
Okay.
Survival's close enough to cleaning. That's what it feels like.
I mean, that's a mood. I see you've seen my laundry pile. 17.
Okay, on a 17. So yeah, you're doing it, and immediately the bottom of it is all shining perfectly. Whatever the snake oil is, it's doing its job. And about that time, we'll cross over towards Nala's turn. Nala.
Yeah,
your turn.
I'll just sort of step past Prosper, who's like shrinking into the wall. Sigh, go about here. I just go to Farah. I never took you for the domestic type bluff, and she'll go for a swing at the one that's probably going to try and bite her while she's cleaning.
Okay, give it a go.
Sure. Whoop. 5.
Nice. Okay, so how do you want to kill this?
Yeah, I'll sort of scoot it away from the cleaning and just kick it and then chop off its head and leave it to wriggle.
Oof, very nice. So you chop off its head with ease. The blade slices straight through without any resistance, really, from what you feel. As you carry the sort of motion straight through, and it flops off to the side, the Icarus blood spilling out onto the ground. And the final one still stands and attempts to do anything before it dies, as it will go for you, Nala.
Alright.
However, misses entirely, and that will be his turn. Rahimi.
Alright, she's going to
These poor
move
centipedes.
closer, and she's going to just kind of like flex her fingers, and then just kind of take a note from Talgrath and slishy at the thing.
Okay, so that will take it down with 4 damage. And how do you want to kill with your slashy nails?
Probably just going to try to make more sashimi type pieces out of it. Like take the segments out, if you will.
Yeah, cool. So almost cartoonishly, as you swing your nails through, like the different sort of sections of it all flop away either side, and you're left with little sashimi bits of centipede on the ground, as everything again goes quiet, aside from, of course, the slopping and smacking of the meat on the ground. So, and of course, Farah's. That's definitely a loud noise in this room.
I'm just gonna like creep over to the one that Nala beheaded and just kind of like examine it to see if it might in fact be edible.
Sure, could you give me a quick nature check?
Nature check, okay. Where's my thing?
Yeah, it's
No.
good eating.
Yeah. I'm just gonna take my dagger and like start to wiggle some of like the carapace off. Be like, I'm neat with my food,
You
even
are.
when it's gross.
And you're all stood in the kitchen, the corpses of the 4 giant centipedes around you. One of them is kind of still getting digested into the ground.
So were these the things wearing the shoes?
That was-
They're the things.
Do any of these have boots on?
No.
That'd be a lot of shoes, Talgrath.
Let me
You
check
only
that.
need the 2.
No. Definitely not.
I'm just like cutting a slice off and using like prestidigitation to warm it. It's just sat there like,
You get some warmed centipede as you begin
Yeah.
to eat. It's chewy.
yeah, I'm just sat there like.
It'll be nice.
Unusual.
No roasted shakes. No, that's your name. It'll be nice to have some roasted prosper.
I mean, like, they do shake a lot, so it makes sense.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But this isn't the last room.
I've never really
And she'll-
cooked bug before. I'm just hungry. It's not bad.
We can still go out and get weasels if you want.
This is already dead, so I'm good with this.
Alright.
Okay, no problem.
Just cutting another piece, like.
Alright, cool. So you are heading into the right-hand door, I'm imagining, in this room? Farah?
Towards the stairs, I think.
Okay, so the stairs at the back of here, they're sort of rickety looking at the back of the room and they lead upwards. There's some of the rungs
Does it
are
read
missing.
to her like servant stairs, basically?
Yes. Yes, it seems to be similar to that kind of a feel. It seems that they would be servant stairs that came out from the kitchen into the back of upstairs, where they'd be able to go around the other side, so that, of course, guests would not necessarily see them whilst they're doing their work. So,
Are there any boot prints on them? Because that's why I want to go look at the stairs first.
as you look at the stairs, there are no boot prints on them, but as you're looking for boot prints, you do kind of trace back where they were when they came in, and you look at them and you determine which ones are which, and there's some that lead to somewhere that none of you have gone to yet, which is this right-hand door here, just by the side of Nala. It leads into there, seemingly.
I'm about to poke my head in anyway.
No problem.
Stairs are clear.
So stairs are clear, says Farah as you poke your head into the room over here. And in that room, you see a room that displays the effects of a damp and decay more than any of the other rooms that you've been in. Mold grows in patches on the walls, floor, ceiling, everywhere that you can see. A large copper cask, spilt, discoloured and empty, stands under the window, with a small heap of crockery shards on the floor beside it. Stairs lead down into what is presumably a cellar or a basement of some sort.
Well, here's the basement. That's probably where all the fun stuff lives. That copper cask is quite nice, though.
Do you want to take it?
Maybe when we come back.
Mm.
So, are we clearing this floor first before going down?
Do we want to... Yeah, maybe we want to make sure nothing follows us to a place we might not be able to get out of easily.
Just still eating centipede.
No, you've all got a good point. Is the sun setting at this point?
Yes, the sun is setting at this point. You're being left in sort of a dim darkness right now inside of here.
Okay, give me a sec. No,
I
stop.
keep playing Rahimi much smarter than she actually is. That's my bad.
That's fair. That's fair.
I take out
To
the
be fair, I've
lantern
been
I
playing
have.
Frostfrm much dumber than they are. So.
I take out the lantern I have that's got a little bit of oil in it. I light it and just woof, woof, down the stairs. To see
Okay,
if
as you
there's
step on the
anything.
top stair.
I'm not going down. I'm just standing at the edge.
Yeah, that's fine. As you stand there, and you sort of tread onto that edge, and you look down. As soon as you do, hideous screams, as if a soul in torment, rise from the cellar below. And all of you within the room, could you please make me a wisdom saving throw, please? As these rack the room and kitchen. Yes. It's quite echoey in the kitchen.
Wisdom saving throw?
Wisdom saving throw, please.
Oh, I'm so scared.
And I'm
I
looking
should-
Oh no!
Okay.
Oh,
And
no.
we just finally need Farah, and then we're good. Wow, nice. Okay, so
Balls.
Talgrath and Farah and Rahimi, all of you are fine. You're a bit further away, and for a moment you almost think, what the hell's that noise? But for Prosper, you know this noise very well, and for Nala, it's one that you have heard many times, and it brings back bad memories for you as you hear these horrific screams, these tortured screams coming from below, and you'll be taking disadvantage on all ability checks for an hour.
Ouch.
As this
But not on
racks
attacks,
your
right?
mind. Ability checks, so
Yeah. Okay.
abilities, skills, it's pretty much a lot
That
of
includes
stuff.
initiative as well.
Yeah, it's the whole shebang. Ability checks are not nice. However, every 15 minutes you can remake the save.
Alright.
Does Bardic Inspiration affect saves?
Ooh.
You
use it.
can call to use it if you want to.
Oh, yeah, actually, that would be nice. I forgot
Yeah,
I had
sure. You can
that. It's a
backtrack
battle
and
engine.
you can quickly add that
Yeah.
to it if you want.
High roll, high roll, high.
Okay, yeah, you're shaken by it, but the sort of song that was coming from Prosper below, you remember that, and that sort of starts to quell those memories, as it is only Prosper themselves who
Yeah,
is unfortunately terrified and will be taking that negative.
Yeah. Like sobbing on the floor now.
Not very nice.
Holding
Anybody
a
else
piece
hear
of
that?
Centipede.
Yeah, I heard. I think we all did.
Can we go? That sounds like bad noise. Shall we leave? That's a leaving noise. That's a bad running away noise. Can
I
we
think
go?
that's we must look further into this noise.
I think we need to stop that noise so that nobody else gets affected.
Agreed. Prosper, you can just stay at the back, dear, and if you get a bit
I
too
will.
much, you can just go outside and hang with the weasels.
Stay in the middle in case anything comes behind us.
I'm gonna go stand next to Farah, who hasn't said anything mean to me.
Look at me. Okay, looking too close. Look a little bit further. I promise. Nothing will touch you. As long as I'm here. And I intend to be here until every mermaid out in those oceans and in this damn house is dead. And you've seen me around mermaids and you know how seriously I take that.
That does make me feel better.
Good. And
I
here's
wonder
the
how
skillet.
affected I've been.
And she'll hand you the iron skillet.
It's very heavy and will hurt.
Like holds it, and the arms just go down. So
Uh-huh.
very heavy. Like
You feel like Rapunzel from Tangled.
I feel like I need to put this down before I fall over. But thank you.
And due to Farah's rousing speech, could you give me another quick wisdom saving throw, please?
Oh.
Oh yay! Okay.
The power of friendship.
Wow, okay, so the power of friendship apparently works,
Yeah.
and Farah's words, your captain, and also being really nice, and the skillet's really nice, it's shiny, it's cool, you can cook things in this, food's good.
Food is good.
And those thoughts, along with the speech, seem to wipe away that fear that was there before. Not completely, but you're not affected mechanically by it. So.
Yay!
If I let anything happen to you, then I'll have to look after hard to eat, and I've already got to look after Pete.
It's true. It's true.
Where is Pete?
He's watching the boat.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
we cut
Right.
back to
Always
the boat,
watching.
and like Leslie's sort of hanging up some washing to dry, and then suddenly
Mostly
from the
he's
skies,
harassing Leslie.
yeah, from the skies you hear a before Pete flies down, picks up a pair of his socks and pops them in the ocean further away, and he just kind of goes, I don't. Oh dear, oh my good socks.
If he's on the boat, he needs the boat.
Oh,
hat.
the one hat!
Yeah. That's
Oh yeah, of course. Pete is here in the
This is
background.
the boat hat. See, it matches yours. Boat
He's
hat.
got a pirate hat. He's got a
I
beanie.
love it.
There will be more hats.
I
Because
can't wait for the many
stop.
hats of Pete. It's amazing.
The cat.
Okay, cool.
No.
So. Alright.
Sorry, what's in your basement of horrors, Hollow? Tell us.
We're not investigating
We're
mine
not
right
going
now.
into the basements. We're going to clear this floor before we go into the place that's harder to escape from.
If anybody
Wait.
wants to look up there, I can throw you up.
Shrink.
Yes.
slightly. Oh, they're back behind Farah.
Or we could just go up the stairs that don't look like they're gonna fall down as soon as we tiptoe on them.
I have an idea.
I can go check the stairs. I don't mind falling. Falling is better than throwing.
I don't.
What's your idea, Farah?
Well,
And she'll pull a bootlace from one of her boots, and she's gonna tie it across the stairs and attach to it some broken pieces of things that will clatter together.
if anyone moves on the stairs, we'll hear him.
Cool. Yeah.
Like this!
Great idea.
That sounds good to me. Just give me a quick survival check as you kind of put that in place. Won't be
Can I
hard.
help?
Yeah, you can give an advantage if you're helping out.
Thank you, because I don't have the survival as a proficiency.
That's
I do.
completely understandable. Wow.
Not like you need it.
You people and your crits. right.
Rahimi's helping. It inspires
So,
Farah.
yeah. Exactly.
It's a very aesthetic wind chime by the time we're done.
Yeah, it tingles nicely. It's like...
Are we not going up the stairs then?
Not
No.
these ones. The ones out
Okay.
there.
There are more. Okay, yes.
I already tested the ones out there, so we know they're good for walking on.
But
Those
you didn't
stairs
walk.
are good for work.
Oh no, you walked up. You didn't walk down. Yes.
And
I
that's just
remember.
what we'll do. I've
Walk out to the entrance hall.
heard this.
You walk out to the entrance hall as you make your way back into the sort of very dilapidated looking, plaster falling off the walls, horrible place. As you
Happily
make your way
running away
into
from
the
the
rather
screaming
large...
room.
Maybe we should
open
look at this down
room.
here first before we go upstairs.
There is indeed a passage to your west side, so
In agreement
How
with that.
big is this house?
big.
Big
It
enough
looks
to live in.
It's bigger on the inside.
No.
Oh no. Oh no.
You're very trustworthy. I want you to remind me to get my bootlace before we leave. Do not forget to remind me. Focus on that. Let's go.
Bootlace.
Talgrath, do you want to take this door here?
Can do.
And she'll shuffle up.
Okay. And you shuffle up, and Talgrath, you begin to walk down. And you find there are again two doors, one to your south, one to your north, in this like little hallway to the western side of the building. And you're going to the one to the south, are you, Talgrath?
Yeah, it seems that way.
Cool, no problem. So, you go and open the door. Do you just open it nicely? Do you boot it in?
Before I kick this door in, you lovely ladies seem to be shopping. Is this door one you want, or...?
I'll give it a look over.
It's about as in disrepair as the other ones on it, but it does have some sort of scratchings on it of like some sort of words you think is what people call them, Nala.
We're at a fucking
Hey,
home.
Rahimi!
Ah,
There's words on here. I recognize them, but I don't know what they mean.
pardon me, excuse me, pardon me, let me,
Okay.
What did they say?
So there's only a few that you can make out still, kind of squinting at them, but it has L and then a B and then a Y at the end. L at the beginning, Y at the end, a B in the middle somewhere.
L-B-Y. L-B-Y, L-B-Y. She's just gonna like push them out of the way and open the door.
So you
Is it a
push-
library?
Oh goodness.
I think it's a library.
And you push open the door. And this room was once a library, with bookshelves around the walls. Most of the shelves are broken, and in many places they've come away from the wall. The few shelves that are still intact are empty. But a pile of books rests in the southwest corner.
Fucking there.
Okay, no problem. So as you immediately go over to the books, there's around 14 of them in a heap, and they're untidily thrown into the corner. They're covered in cobwebs, vermin droppings, and harmless mold. All of them are pretty ruined, but you can still make out some of the bits of them. And as you look through, you see some of them are of histories of the local area, there's a collection of romantic poems that you find, and so on and so forth. But 3 of them in particular catch your eye, which are the following. The Magical Properties of Gemstones by the Archmage Tenser. The Magical Properties of Herbs and Flowers by the Archmage Tenser. And the Metaphysics of Mathematics by the Mage Nystule.
Sorry, can you repeat
And I'll
the
type
last...
those in chat as well for you.
Hey, bless you.
Maybe you would call him a mathematician.
You know what? I appreciate that a lot.
That's fair. It was
One
a
of
good
my
one.
favorite books is the Phantom Tollbooth, so I'm kind of like, yeah, mathematician.
I like it. I like it. But yes, that's what you find in here. And the books
Excellent.
seem to be quite nice.
100% keeping these.
No problem. And as you do you flick through them slightly? Just kind of...
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, so on the 3rd volume, you find 2 words illegible in a damp and handwritten note, which seems to be in the common tongue, and only 2 of them are left legible, which says "Beyond Skeletons."
Like Beyond Meat, but for people.
No.
Well, that's an interesting phrase.
I'm just gonna check like behind the bookshelves to make sure that there's nothing hidden behind them, and then probably
No
just
problem.
head on over to the next room.
Fair. So you go over to the bookshelves and you have a look under them and sort of look around them. And they seem to be like individual shelves that have been bolted into the wall, more than like a big bookshelf that could be moved away. Yeah. So you have a look at them. There's nothing there that you can see. Everything seems to be just the books in the corner. That's the only things that are really of interest.
All right. You done in here, Rahimi? You look very happy.
Oh, I am so very pleased. But yes, I think I am done book hunting in this room at least.
Okay.
Before we leave this room, are there any items here that you'd like to call dibs on? Since Rahimi's called dibs on the books, I called dibs on the skillet in the kitchen and other various items. Just so we know finders, keepers, and priorities. Talgrath, what about you?
Unless
would
it's
you
a
call
barrel,
this?
I'm not interested.
A barrel for Talgrath.
Dusty in this library.
Probably
You're not meant to
any
watch the
weapons we
book.
find, and maybe if we find any chocolate for some reason, that'll go well to Mr. Robinson.
Maybe.
Well,
Frost.
seems that you're done in there. Talgrath is going to give this door the big boot.
So you give it the big boot as you walk out and smash through the other door. And inside door number 3 is... This room was once a writing room or a study. Against the wall under the window sits a large wooden desk. Oh, and thank you very much, Piku4. Thanks for the cheer. Where was I? Against the wall under the windows sits a large wooden writing desk, particularly broken and riddled with damp rot. There are 3 drawers in each side of the desk and a large central drawer. The latter is closed, but the others are all open, and 2 of them have been broken open forcibly. Thanks for the follow.
Talgrath's going to wander over and check out these drawers, see if there's
Okay.
anything left in them.
So, checking out the drawers as you walk over, it seems the central one is locked, but you may be able to get it open somehow. There is a keyhole.
I know
maybe
how.
You could do something about that. But aside from that, you look in, and the other drawers, they seem pretty emptied.
Okay. Talgrath is just going to rag at this locked drawer and try and rip it out.
Okay, so can you give me an athletics check then, please?
Can do. A 16.
Wow, okay, so on a 16, you rag and you rag and you rag and you pull it across the floor slightly, and you begin to jimmy it open slightly, and you pull the drawer open with force. And inside, there is nothing but old valueless documents, all that seem written in common, receipts for purchases of various chemicals and laboratory equipment. But could you please give me a very quick investigation check, please?
Can do. Investigation. That's a 4.
Stupid papers. You turn around and nothing in there. Nothing else of note, surely.
Yeah, definitely.
Sorry, did you say papers?
Yeah, it's all yours, Rahimi.
Yay!
I will take a look at these papers.
Okay, so looking at the papers, they indeed seem to be really boring transcripts of when they bought some alcohol once, and when they bought some other different items and ingredients, and they're very dull. But as you stood looking over them, just over the drawer, could you give me an investigation check, please?
Yes, I can.
That's awesome.
Not great at them. I will take that back.
Now, do we give you disadvantage for saying it, Napkin? Okay, so you're reading through them, and your eyes immediately almost zip over to a spider that's inside of it, and the spider crawls into the drawer and then seems to get towards the edge of it, and then just disappears behind the edge. And underneath,
Aha! Clever. And just pop.
as you pop it open, you find a secret compartment. And wrapped in cloth, is a glass vial. It seems to have a stopper in it, and as you look at the bottle, it seems to have a sort of reddish liquid that flows nicely, and there's about 2 doses of whatever this is. Could you give me a very quick Arcana check, please?
I was gonna say, if it's a potion, there is a thing, at least in the DMG, where if you take a sip of it, you know the properties of it.
Yeah, you can do if you take a sip. It's up to you if you want to take a sip.
Yeah, it doesn't affect you. You just know the properties of it.
Okay.
So I'll just
All right,
little sip.
See, and your tongue tingles, and you feel invigorated. You feel almost like this would perhaps help you with knitting up your wounds.
Uh-huh. And then just hand that over to Talgrath.
Okay, no problem.
You'll want that later, trust me. When you get hurt,
Is
just
it
drink
booze?
it. Oh, it's the best kind.
It's the best kind of
Right.
booze.
I'll save it for later.
Cool. You get
Strawberry
strange. You
flavor.
get strange red potion gifted by Rahimi. 2 doses worth of it.
2 doses of strange red potion.
Okay, cool. So, aside from that, however, there's nothing else that you can see in here. Seems
So,
to be pretty
Prosper,
done.
what are we looking for you?
The exit.
Yeah.
Good news! I know what that is, and I think there's a door still for you.
Oh, good. I just want to get out of here, alive. Preferably unhurt. And, with everyone.
We should talk about your ambitions. I think you can reach a little higher. But that'll do
Then-
for now.
I don't
Reach
really
higher
have...
than most of us.
Yeah, if you need anything off a tall shelf, I'm good at that.
Pretty adept at tall shelves. Don't mean to brag, but
Yeah. Seeing over things, keeping things
I
clean.
have an idea. How would you like to move to the crow's nest?
I like the crow's nest, but it's hard. It's hard for hard to eat to get up there and get down again. So I tend to stay in the boxes.
What if we fixed up and she'll just begin to explain
Yeah,
a
you
whole
begin to
pulley
explain a whole
system with a
pulley.
bucket and...
I'd
Talgrath's
have to-
busy keeping indoors and Rahimi's
Yeah.
busy tasting food.
exactly.
I'd have to
Talgrath,
run it by hard to eat, but I guess it could work.
Talgrath, could you give me a very quick intelligence check, please? As you're hearing this pulley system concept.
Yeah, I can do straight intelligence.
Straight into... You can have advantage.
Okay. A 17.
Wait. A bucket may be a bit too small, but a barrel... Now, a barrel, that'd fit a person, plus a cat, plus whatever else they need to get up there. You know, because you were once stuffed in a barrel, but then somebody lifted up on top of a roof with a system of pulleys. You couldn't get down for a day.
You could always use a barrel instead. You can fit more than just a cat in there then. Quick access to the crow's nest.
I mean, I don't know what else. The crow's nest isn't that big. I don't know what else you could fit in there apart from
You and the
and
cat.
No, yeah, but I can get it. I mean, it's a good idea.
about when
I'm
you
not
have
saying
cats?
no.
Prosper, I think this is a fine idea, Talgrath, and very honourable of you to donate a barrel to the cause.
Oh, buyer's remorse right there. I guess.
Those eyes.
I'm just like Prosper's just like shrinking slowly. Like I'm fine in the whole. Really, I don't need things. I'm good. I'm fine.
I told you to dream big. Dream of a room with a view.
But what if they're what is it? Agoraphobic?
But rooms with views come with windows that people can come through.
No, we'll fix this one. You don't want people coming through your windows. It's kind of creepy.
Bars on the windows.
Bars. Okay, we need bars. We need a barrel. We need some rope.
I'm
Where's
okay
the next
with
door
my-
to kick in?
I don't
I'm
think
okay with
Prosper
my
wants to
box.
live in a jail, Farah.
I like my box. My box is fine, apart from the communal orange in the corner.
But
You
as
can keep
you're...
the box. Don't worry about it.
As you're speaking of that, and as you walk into the other room, Rahimi, you see that a door in the north wall leads onto a small patio, the paving cracked and overrun with weeds. Other than that, a pile of refuse in the southeast corner, the room is completely bare.
Okay, so nothing interesting in here. Turn around.
Okay, no problem.
Upstairs it is.
I think there's still a corridor we've not been down.
Yeah, there's also
Right,
the
but-
patio as well to the north of the other room.
That's
Hey,
outside.
patios are outside. Outside is good. Outside is not in this house.
Outside
That's
is
where
where
the
all
weasels
the
That's the weasel corner. That's the furry tube corner over there. You don't want to go there.
Oh, also,
Okay.
another thing that I forgot to mention conveniently, as I've just read this as well. Farah, as you were the one who was following the tracks, you do see that there are tracks that lead into this area as well. And they go round and into the living room and towards the patio, but then you notice about...
My Scooby-Doo creep walk.
You Scooby-Doo creep walk, and you notice about... I'll just place you near it, just ahead of you, there. 5 foot just to your front there. You see what looks to be an attempt to hide a trapdoor, but the footprints lead right up to it and then vanish. And there is a very noticeable slit where it's meant to be. If not for that, likely you wouldn't have noticed it, but the
I
footsteps
drop
go
down
directly
on my
into it.
belly and I eye the hinges. Does this trapdoor open up or down?
It opens up.
Then I don't just drop my foot through it because that will really hurt. I instead gently curl my fingers around the edge and lift.
And as you begin to lift, a voice cuts in and goes, "Welcome, fools, welcome to your deaths." And booming fiendish laughter follows the spoken message.
Ah, shut up, you wee fucking. Ooh.
And could you all make me a DC 12 wisdom saving throw, please?
I just turned to Rahimi. What was that again? Sorry.
Ah, nothing. There is nothing. Mm-mm.
Really starting to doubt which part of the island you come from.
Was that Mr. Rabbit?
Ball of fear on the floor. Again.
It's right,
No problem. So everybody
like
who's...
in my arms, like Scooby Doo.
Like Scooby and Shaggy's arms.
I like the idea of like basically Shaggy and Scooby being Talgrath and Prosper. Like, that's amazing.
Yeah, I just leap into Talgrath's arms, realize I'm being touched, and flail onto the floor.
So Talgrath, you're not only terrified as you hear this message and you're like, oh, that's terrifying, but then Prosper just flings himself towards you, catch them, and almost tumble backwards before they flail, and you do tumble backwards momentarily and catch yourself, but your heart is pumping, and that was close. That was... Whatever's going on here is pretty terrifying, as the two of you will unfortunately take... you will be taking disadvantage on ability checks for the next hour. Unless we can pull out another rousing speech, in which case we'll make rolls. But
Just the two of them?
just the two of them. Everybody else who managed to get above... Oh no, Nala as well. But Rahimi and Farah, you're completely fine.
Prosper is now in the fetal position on the floor.
Yeah, Nala kind of leans back against the wall, like, oh, Farah, get away from there. I don't want anything to happen to you.
That seems to be... Other than that, though, Farah, you got the trapdoor.
Don't worry. It's just a trick. Just someone leaving a voicemail to let us know they don't want us going down here. Which means it no doubt leads to what we want.
And
What's a voicemail?
I want to leave!
as they say that, Rahimi specifically, you're trained in Arcana, are you? Or are you not? Just to check.
I am, yes.
Good, okay. Could you give me a very quick Arcana check, please? Wow, okay. This, now that they mention it, voicemail is a strange term to call it, but you do remember that you had a few pranks played on you when you were much younger back in Inserte by some of them who were studying magics in the local college. And you remember that some of them would leave a spell that they called the Magic Mouth, and indeed it did, record a message and play it back in a terrifying manner. And it used to make some people, you remember some people even peed their own pants out of it, and others were completely fine.
You see, Rahimi? It's a voice and it's male, so it's voicemail.
Right. I think that it also goes by another name called Magic Mouth. Not the kind that you're thinking of. Not the kind that you're thinking of.
No. Me?
The bar called that once.
Would not surprise me. But it's mostly just an illusion, give or take.
Illusion.
A lotion?
Illusion.
Illusion.
Allegiance.
Not well, maybe it was done by a legion, but it's just no, it's an illusion. It's smokes and
like your
light.
hand.
Sure.
The pile of shit is what it is. Oh,
Ghost voice, ghost hand. Don't like it here. Want to leave. Want to go
Yes.
home.
All it does is its only purpose is to scare you, or like divulge information, or both.
Well, it didn't do that to
Mission
me.
accomplished.
I'm gonna insight check.
Okay, what you insight
Insight
checking?
Talgrath.
Talgrath. Okay, yeah. Talgrath can
Because
give
he
me
said
deception,
it didn't do anything
please.
to him.
Number 2.
So, it didn't do anything for me. Like, his voice
And-
pitches up about 3 octaves higher.
I'm gonna stick my torch down there to see if there's like a ladder or anything.
So, as you place that down, let me have a look. And it
Farah's
reads-
gonna turn to Nala as the torch is kind of lowered into the darkness. And she notes, obviously, Nala's nervousness and dislike for this. She says, "You're right, Nala. To get into you."
I think frost was rubbing off on me, you know? And her hand's like shaking just a little bit as she's like trying to put it in.
Okay, so you
I
see...
get angry and maybe snap out of it, but I don't want to get angry for no reason.
You see a sturdy set of stairs that leads down into darkness, as far as you can see from this angle. You believe if you started walking down, you could probably see more, but... Yeah.
Are we all ready to walk down, or do you want to go up first?
Again, there's still more of a corridor over there.
Then more corridor?
This is where the boots led. If we want to follow those tracks, this is where we go. If you want to scout the rest of the house, then we scout the rest of the house. But we need to make a decision. And eventually we'll need to go downstairs.
Prosper, are you okay?
Just like slowly gets 2 feet from prone position and is like holding their stubby little tail, just like, no, never
Let us-
really, but I'm conscious. Conscious as
Let
well.
us take a boat.
A
Starts
boat?
chewing the end of her tail.
In favor
We're taking a
of
boat.
going down.
But
A boat.
A vote.
It's a thing you do on a boat, but we're not on a boat right now.
You having a
We're
vote on
going
a
to take a
boat?
boat in this room.
right.
All those in favor of following the boots, say aye. Aye. Alright. All those in favor of exploring the rest of the house and going shopping for things that we like, say aye.
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 There we have it. We're gonna go shopping.
We don't need to shop, but I mean.
I mean, you got your books. That's pretty much shopping.
It's more stealing, but you know.
No, finders keepers.
Oh yeah, that's
That's
true. That's true.
Also
And don't
stealing,
let
isn't
Mr.
it?
Robinson hear you've been stealing.
We'd also be pretty crap pirates if we didn't steal anything.
We're not
Stop
pirates.
invoking his name.
Stealing, borrowing. Finders keeper. Remind me to teach you a few things at some point about being a pirate.
Borrowing indefinitely.
Borrowing, you give back. And
No,
Can
we're
we
borrowing
move on?
indefinitely.
Or are we just gonna argue? Come on.
Yes, let's go.
Okay.
Prosper,
So-
put the skillet down on the hatch.
Good choice.
What? Oh yeah, the thing. It's been like wrapped into their clothing because it was too heavy to carry, so they kind of like just dump it on the hatch. Like,
So you dump it onto the hatch with a big goomph as you place it on top, and it'll probably hold it. Or at
Yeah,
least you'd
now if
hear if
anything's
it's moved.
down there, they'll have an effort to get up.
okay, just goes back to chewing on their tail.
That reminds me about some... Never mind.
I hand
Go
Prosper
ahead.
some rations to chew on instead, like some dried beef.
Kind of takes it, eats it.
Come on, don't.
Hey,
don't
thank
chew
you.
your tail.
You're given some
Come on.
Dark Tide special beef.
Taste of home.
It's incredibly
Why does
salted.
that make me uncomfortable?
It's very salted.
Mm.
It's like
Just
90%
keep chewing
salt.
it, like,
Creamy.
1%
still
meat.
holding on to their tail, but is quite happy eating the meat.
Yeah.
Alright, so let's go to this other area we haven't been to yet.
Yeah, okay, so as you head the rest of the way through the house, your footsteps again creaking on the floors, you head towards the eastern side of the ground floor, and there are 2 doors left to both the sort of earlier part and then the later part of the south end of the wall.
I don't even know where I've gone on the map now. There we go.
You went into the room.
You're pulling yourself through walls secretly. So, to your south, as you both open these doors, are below you, Talgrath, is a living area, it seems. And aside from a large amount of plaster that's fallen from the ceiling, this room is completely bare.
Except that door.
Except that door there, yes.
Okay, Talgrath will wander over and kick that door in two.
Okay, and about that time, you'd see Nala as well. And Nala, before he kicks in that door, you would see there's nothing really of note in this room, but there is a clump of tiny red mushrooms growing out of the back wall in a semicircular fashion. And there seems to be a sort of cavity where there was once a fireplace there. I think you're muted.
Yeah, I just say, hey, Rahimi, this might be your thing.
Rahimi, you're also muted.
We're a mess.
Yep. Whee!
It's alright, for once it's not me who's muted, so it's fine. Like, I honestly have to do my narration like 4 times in some games, like on Hallowed.
It would be much easier if I had 2 monitors. I don't, though. So.
I'm the same, I have 1 single monitor I'm doing this on, so... Anyway, so, yeah, you walk in as well, and you do see there's sort of some mushrooms in a semicircle around a fireplace.
I'd like to try and identify them.
Sure, could you give me a nature check, please? And as you're doing that as well, could you also give me a perception check?
Can I help with a perception check?
You certainly
Unless
can.
you need it.
Cool. So as the 2 of you are looking at these, you suddenly hear Talgrath boot in the door behind you, which is a loud noise, and you hear plaster fall from the floor above him and onto the ground. But you do see, before that happens, aside from these clump of tiny red mushrooms that seem completely harmless, they seem like they could be eaten even, as you kind of look over them with ease, Rahimi, with your nature check. They could be good in a stew, something like that. They could be cooked up nicely, but they're completely harmless. They won't have a great flavour, but you know.
Oh, they're not morels then, it's okay.
No, they're not morels, unfortunately. But as you're looking around that area, the 2 of you notice a small cavity in the back of this area that used to be a fireplace, and inside of it, as you sort of, you know, investigate it more, you find a small leather pouch. And it seems to contain something.
Do you want to open it?
Sure. Bacon.
Inside of it, you see... Could you give me a very quick nature check, please?
Oh no.
No.
You recognize these. They're 2 cut pieces of blue quartz. They're worth quite a pretty penny each.
Bad. Do I know how much, roughly?
With your check, you're not sure of exactly how much, but you know it was gold, definitely. Double digits.
Hey, treasure. Be good, that.
Those will look right nice in my cabin.
I kind of looked to Rahimi.
Yes.
Nothing. Never mind. Come on. Let's see if there's anything else hidden around.
Okay.
Okay.
So, that would be this entire section of the house as you've looked through it. The rest of this room seems to contain nothing else of interest.
Shall we move on then? I think maybe we can check downstairs now.
Or upstairs.
Or upstairs. There's both ways.
Do a quick sweep upstairs, then head down for the finale.
Sure.
Which downstairs are we talking about?
Sorry, did you say
Basement or
floors?
the ladders?
The scary
No, wait.
shouting hit.
Get your mind down to the bilge wash.
Look, okay. I mentioned magic mouth, and you all went ee-hee-hee. So
I didn't. I
good
don't
for
know
you,
what that means.
because you were too busy cowering.
Ow, but yeah.
Hey, be nice.
No, it's not being mean.
So
I want
when
no
you
part
say
of this
downstairs,
conversation.
When you speak like that.
when you say downstairs, do you mean the place that screamed at us or the place that shouted at us? Just so I know.
Shouted.
Oh, okay, right.
And as you consider which direction to go in, you suddenly hear a large on the window next to you.
Cowering again.
I punch the window out of instinct.
You punch the window and you hear a squawk as you punch Pete on the other side as well. As you smash the window and Pete kind of flops off, and then immediately afterwards lands
Sorry,
on the windowsill. Its hat is askew.
I just write his hat. There you go.
Kind of
What
bobs
is
its
it,
head.
Pete? Who stole my ship?
And Pete looks at you, and in your head, Rahimi, you also hear, "No, everything is fine at the ship. Everything is dandy, in fact. Everybody is behaving themselves. I have seen to it that at least half of Leslie's belongings have ended up in the salty, salty ocean waters."
Why are you so mean to Leslie?
I didn't say a word about Leslie.
What are you two doing?
Pete, why are you here?
Nay, I have come, in fact, to see what you are all doing. I had the tingling of fortune about this expedition.
You turned up just in time. Rahimi and Nala just found treasure, and I found this for you. And she'll reach into her pocket and she'll pull out the small blue plate thing.
Yeah,
Saucer,
he
that's
takes the little teacup thing, and he like picks it up with his beak and just holds the blue teacup in its head. Its head's sort of bobbing to the side still, but it's holding it and just kind of stands there with its little hat in its head, the seal with a little teacup in its mouth. And still you hear in your heads as it goes, "So where are we going to next? Where does this adventure lead us? Oh, glorious Farah."
Farah will kind of hold out her hand for Pete to step up and then move Pete to her shoulder. We're going upstairs, and then we're going downstairs. We're going to where the man shouts and the people don't scream.
What if you just send Pete up?
Squawk. Says Pete again, remembering that you can hear him.
I mean, if you have this
You're
link
muted
with
now.
him, he could just tell you what he sees.
Pete?
I mean, I have no objections. Pete, how do you feel about going upstairs and having a look around for treasure?
I could do such a thing. It may take time. I'm not good at opening windows, but I could perhaps try.
Come around, the door's not on the hinges.
Very well. And with that, as Pete has joined the party, we'll
And the
call it
DM
for today.
hurries us up to go and find the adventure.
No, I don't. I honestly don't care. If you are not, you can look at as much as you like. I'm more
We're
than
too busy
happy with this.
shopping.
You
It's
can shop
reconnaissance?
for as long. If this entire season is shopping, that's fine.
Gonna be
When I
decked
ask for
out with,
season
like,
2, which is when you
1,000-year-old
do
things.
the adventure, that'll be, you just expect that. That's what I'm saying. But yeah, you've been on your shopping trip, and we'll call it there as we've only got 10 minutes left. So we'll go around, let us know who you are, something you're working on, or anything else. If you want to post anything in chat about that, by all means do. And aside from that, thank you for playing. So let us know what your favourite moment was, and the rest. You've done this many times before. So we'll go around the same way. So Farah, FrostFrmFire.
I loved so much about this session, but I think my favorite moment has to be Talgrath being the barrel at the very start and becoming the lid. And I thought that was really funny. I love Prosper this whole time and the relationships. Just the characters are building between them is really cool and fun. And I appreciate that we somehow turned a very scary haunted house into a shopping expedition in a way that only we could. So I appreciate you very much for putting up with that, Hollow.
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah. I'm at FrostFrmFire on the Twitters. You can find me there. I do a whole host of things, including being the Twitch director for Encounter Roleplay. And it's our brand new season starting next week on Tuesday. We begin with some Call of Cthulhu. And on Thursday, you may see a familiar face or two as we bring Unhallowed Metropolis to Encounter Roleplay with a brand new game, which I hope you'll all come and check out. It's at 4 p.m. Eastern until 7 p.m. and it's going to be awesome. I'm very excited to see what the group get up to. The next time I'm online will be Thursday on RPG Webby's channel as we continue our Song of Ice and Fire after the Fire campaign over there. And that begins at 3 p.m. Eastern, which is 8 p.m. UK. Those are all my shameless plugs, but please do check out all of those things and all of the things these people are involved in because they're going to be great.
Brilliant, and again, thank you for coming. It's been, I enjoyed the shopping trip. It's been fun. I'm happy with this. It's fine. I'm more than happy with the shopping trip that's happened, and looting the different rooms has been funny to see. And we'll move on to Rahimi.
Yes, it is me, Rahimi. So my favorite part, I'm torn between the door just getting ripped off and hucked across the yard, and just Farah yeeting herself over the freaking banister.
Full romantic Disney prince, just like
the strong women in this game are just
too strong.
Too strong for my heart. As far as what I do, I'm Banjalerp basically everywhere. You can find me on Fridays at 8 p.m. Mountain Time, 10 p.m. Eastern. I will be streaming Final Fantasy IX on Twitch here every Friday at that time at my channel. Otherwise, you can just find me here every Monday. So that's basically me.
Yes, certainly can, and I'm looking forward to that playthrough, definitely. And I'm excited to see that. FF9 isn't it as well, so...
Yeah, I do the voices for all the characters. Some of them sound the same because, I can't do guy voices very well, because, my register doesn't go that deep.
That's completely fair. Not a problem. Well, either way, I'll tune into that for sure, so thank you very much. And, of course, our brilliant Talgrath. Oh, thank you, Shax. That's lovely of you. Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Making sure the bird is quiet. He woke up and is kicking up a fuss.
It's alright. On the Twitch chat, you've got rotating gems on your face at the moment, so it's fine. There you go.
An improvement. So, I'm done. I've been playing Talgrath, the ever-loving half-orc. My favorite... Shut up, bird. My favorite part is of tonight's session was Farah's cleaning during battle. Just no, it's giant centipede. Nah, I've got this to clean first.
I love that.
Other than that, you can find me on Twitter at F91Vanguard, and I am playing through Dark Souls 2. Streaming times are all over the place at the moment, so I post on the Twitter when I'll be streaming.
Brilliant stuff. Not a problem at all. Thank you very much for coming, and again, it's always fun to see you in these. And right, okay, so moving on to Prosper. Thank you for playing.
So, I love it here. So I am Shakes, also known as Shaksqueer. You can find me on Twitter at Shaksqueer. It's only 2 E's. I know it's wrong and it annoys me. I stream in other places. You can find all that on my Twitter. I'm too tired and warm to remember all of them right now. But my favorite moment of tonight was probably Farah just going around and being like, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want? What are we getting out of this place? Everyone goes home with a toy. Like the best babysitter ever. That was absolutely wonderful. So yeah.
I did love that.
I love it here. This is so great. She's like, what do you want? I don't want anything. You're getting something. Pick something.
We've come all the way here.
It's like, we're in the gift shop. Just pick something. It could be an eraser. I don't care.
Crying when you get back to the ship and you don't have anything.
Okay.
Prosper's just like, I want to escape with my life. Does that count? Is that it?
Can't loot your own life. All right.
I mean...
So, finally, last but not least, Nala. Thank you for playing.
Hello. I've had a great time. You can find me at Humbledore 6, I think, on Twitter. Very new to that, so whatever. Currently, I'm playing a hell of a lot of RPGs, mostly offline, but I will be playing in the brilliant Unhallowed Metropolis on Thursdays coming soon, as Farah said. I cannot wait. I'm playing a very bouncy, happy detective called Tilly Griffiths, so we'll see how that goes. And then I'm also taking part in a writing challenge right now on World Anvil. If you've not checked it out, go and check that out. It's awesome for campaign building, world building, anything like that. And I've posted a link in the chat to see if you want to read my entry. That'll be really appreciated. Favorite moment? Either Talgrath planking himself over the well and just why?
I almost forgot that.
Mm-hmm. Or Farah wanting to be a domestic goddess during battle, going, yes, this is my home now.
Oh, I love it.
It was very
I
good.
love the homemaking whilst the centipedes were trying to attack you. It was great. But yeah, thank you very much for playing, all of you. And for everybody who's been watching tonight, thank you very much for tuning in. We'll be back next week, same time, so that's 8:30 UK, 3:30 EDT, in which we'll be starting again, and we'll be continuing on exploring this spooky house, or not so spooky, they might make a home of it. So, you know, there is that. We might end up with a nice home by the seaside after all this has gone through, with less screaming, hopefully.
Group of cats, by the way.
Got to attempt to. It's like walking cats on leads, you know, you're all going to go in different directions. I love it. It's always fun. But thank you very much for tuning in, everybody. And yeah, tune back in next week. We'll be right here. Also, on this Saturday coming up, I will also be streaming my Unhallowed Metropolis campaign for this channel, which is Britannia by Gaslight, which does feature the brilliant FrostFrmFire playing a noble who has been going through some shit, to say the least, and has been pretty badass with it. And you'll find a lot of really other cool players in there as well, so come and tune in to that. That's at 5 p.m. UK and 12 p.m. in the EDT times, and you can come in and check that out. That runs every 2 weeks. And on top of that, definitely tune into the Unhallowed the Thursday of next week. You'll love it, I'm sure. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with that. And until next time, I've been Hollowtail. You've all been brilliant. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you for playing, everybody, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye.